I think certainly his strategy in the general theory was that of a chronic liar. I think no other way you can put it. For example, he says in the general theory, when he talks about the history of thought, which he does quite a bit in there, that nobody before him even worried about unemployment, much less thought about it. He was the only one, John Maynard Keynes, the only one ever to think about unemployment and worry about it, think about the solution. And he lived in a time, of course, that everybody before him he called classical economists, with a sneer. He lived at a time when Hayek and with Hayek's doctrines have become important precisely because it tackled the unemployment problem, whether you agree with it or not. So he knew about Austrian theory, at least tackling the unemployment problem. He knew about the Pigou and so forth, talking about unemployment. And yet he had the gall to claim he was the first one to ever think about it. And unfortunately, most economists since Keynes are not steeped in the history of economic thought. It's not one of the great strengths of the profession. It died out almost because as the economists began to think of economics as like physics, if you're a physicist, you don't really bother dealing with 18th century physics. And so he got away with it. He managed to persuade most of the profession, and nobody before Keynes worried about unemployment or had any solution to offer, any theory to offer about it. That, I think, is the most flagrant case of obvious lie. There's no way you can get around that. He also lied about Say's law. And again, everybody takes this as gospel. Everybody defines Say's law or cites it as being, quote, supply creates its own demand. That is not Say's law. First of all, Say, of course, never even said anything like it. But the point is that Say's law, as Hutt points out, is that the supply of X constitutes a demand for Y, Z, etc. It's not that the supply of peaches creates a demand for peaches. The supply of peaches creates a demand for other products. The peach seller will then buy other things. So by misstating Say's law and making it seem like a loony law, you then, of course, can easily refute it. This is called a straw man tactic. And unfortunately, most historians of economic thought have taken this as gospel. Gee, Say's law says, well, the only thing they've done since Keynes is to put it in the math, oddly enough. Put Say's law into math. Say did not use any mathematics. Say was very sound on the mathematical economics question.